Okay, thank you. Thank you for coming this evening. I'd like to welcome you to the Master of Teaching in Secondary Education, the Postgraduate Information Evening. I hope you're all faring well and enjoying the transition out of lockdown. My name is Joanne Yu, and I'm the coordinator of the Master of Teaching in Secondary Education program at UTS. Today, I'll be presenting with our Professional Experience Director, Annie Agnew, our Director of Postgraduate Coursework, Sita Chopra, 3 MTeach students, Kimberly Duncan, Rindra Sethi, Stella Heyman, and Shirley Toe, our Senior Teaching and Learning Officer. First, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the various lands from which you join us today, and to pay respects to those elders past and present. I know that people are attending from all parts of Sydney, so I welcome you to pay respect to the traditional custodians from the land where you reside. As I go through this presentation, please feel free to post any questions in the Q&A. We will address them at the end of the presentation. Next slide, thank you. So why study secondary education at UTS? In 2021, the government survey Quality Indicators for Learning and Teaching, we were rated over 80% for teaching and learning, facilities and resources, and 90% for graduate satisfaction. This made us the highest ranking Sydney University for these indicators. We also have strong partnerships with over 200 urban and rural schools, which helps us to deliver an amazing professional experience program and an innovative and current curriculum that is based on authentic classroom practice. Next slide. The course is composed of 7 core, 2 professional experience and teaching methods and elective subjects. The core covers the New South Wales Education Standards Authority, NESA, priority areas. They include topics such as sociology, inclusive ed, Indigenous education, professional learning, educational psychology, literacy and numeracy across the curriculum, and digital technologies. Your study plan will include all the core and the professional experience offerings, but the number of teaching method subjects and electives will depend on your teaching areas. For example, if you're graduating with a single teaching area, you will complete 3 teaching method subjects as your major and 4 additional electives. If you're graduating with combined teaching areas, you will take 3 teaching method subjects as your major and 4 electives. And I can tell you a little bit about our teaching specializations while Serena gets the slides back up. So the areas that we offer teaching specializations are English, mathematics, science, and in the science suite of subjects, we offer biology, chemistry, physics, and earth and environmental science. In the area of human society and its environment, HISI, we have business studies, economics, society and culture, legal studies, and in TAS, technological and applied studies, we have engineering studies, software design and development, industrial technology, graphics and multimedia, and information processes and technology. And we offer EALD, English as an additional language or dialect, as a minor. So on the right-hand side of the screen, you can see the various combinations of teaching areas, and you may be eligible for different kind of variations depending on your undergraduate pathway. These combined teaching specializations exist to increase a graduate's employability. So please look at our website for other options. Do we still have Sita on board?
I'm back.
Oh, great to see you. So Sita will now talk about the future focused electives that we have on offer. Thank you, Sita.
Thank you, and sorry everybody about those technical glitches a moment ago. In terms of the electives that we have on offer in the program, we've really tried to make sure that the list of electives are from a diverse range of areas and that they appeal to your interests. And also it's been really important to us to make sure that they assist future-proof your career and round out your studies. So we've made sure that we have a number of electives from different parts of the faculty and the university. For example, the multilingual learner is from our TESOL and applied linguistics area. And the subject Education Rights and Responsibilities is from our Faculty of Law. Two of the subjects that we have available as electives are from our new graduate certificate in learning design, which we launched this year. In the subject Create, you'll explore what makes a good media interactive and how that may support learning. While if you choose Crunch, you'll think about all the data that educators have access to, and then how can this data actually be translated to improve learner performance? Aboriginal Sydney now is another popular choice of elective subjects. It looks at contemporary Aboriginal Sydney, and it tries to provoke your curiosity about Indigenous ways of knowing and being in Sydney today. So as you can see, we have quite a broad range of electives on offer. Whilst not all subjects will be on offer every session, there should hopefully be something that will attract your interest. I'll now just pass over to Annie.
Yeah, so good evening, everyone, and welcome to our session tonight. I just want to talk to you for a moment about professional experience, because this is a really important part of everything that you do. So what we've done is we've looked really closely at how to help you to be the most classroom ready that you can be. And part of our course is that you're immersed in professional experience, both through just experiences where we connect you in other ways with schools, but also in two major sort of blocks or segments of classroom time and practice and experience. And I think the important thing is that throughout that period of time, you're really well supported. So you're supported before you go, you're well prepared. You're supported while you're on professional experience, both by your supervising teacher at the school and your tertiary supervisor, who is your connection, your conduit between the university and the school, and they work for us at the university. All the tertiary supervisors are well experienced in education. Many of them have been in education for 30 years plus. They have held various capacities across their classroom teachers, in leadership, and in mentoring new student or new teachers as well. So you're well supported. And the other thing to remember is that you have lots of opportunities in both Sydney and on the other side of the Great Divide, or north or south of Sydney. And we'll talk about the opportunities for you about teaching in a little moment, but really think about the fact that as part of your experience, you get two major blocks. If you are in a position where you might be able to go to a regional or more remote area, certainly we make those opportunities happen for you or support you in that, and it can be an incredible experience. So Sid, if you can go to the next slide, please. Okay, so you've probably heard in the news and read lots of reports about the current teacher shortages. And first of all, obviously, you know, the salary range is pretty good for a beginning teacher, and you move quite quickly through to at least the upper aspects of the financial recompense for teaching. But you know, I think that and part of that is your accreditation that you have to do, and lots of things that you'll find out a lot more about. But most importantly, really, are the job opportunities for you. Every day, just about, there are reports. And in fact, today I just pulled up a new one that maybe we can send some of these out when we send the recording from this session out. But this one that I pulled up today was from October the 11th, and it projects the numbers of students who are enrolling in class, who will be enrolling in schools over the next few years. And the discussion really centers around the fact that the enrollments will enlarge by 20%. So as you invest this time, and it is a huge investment of time, retraining to be a teacher, one of the things that we want to sort of assure you is this is a growth area. And so not only is it a fabulous area to be working in, but you have a great future ahead of you and lots of opportunities to go to, you know, a whole range of places and to really make a difference. Okay, so, and next slide, please, Sita. So now we're going to hear from a couple of our students who both current and past students. So we have Verinda, Stella, and Kimberly. So I thought that I might just start by asking Stella, why you wanted to become a teacher?
Well, let's see. I had sort of ended up in a lot of teaching roles through volunteer work over the years and found that I really enjoyed it. So I volunteered with FemPower, which is an organization created from the USyd Women's Collective that goes around to high schools and teaches about issues of gender equality. And I would also volunteer as an art teacher at Hazelhurst Art Gallery, my local gallery. And I found that I really, really enjoyed it. And I also really, really like kids. And I also come from a bit of a long line of teachers.
Yeah, thank you, Stella. And Kimberly, I'm assuming you have quite a different story.
Yeah, I was actually an ESL and academic English teacher for many years. And then I went back to university to study science and tutored in science at university for a few years. And so my reason for doing the MTeach was to find a way to do what I loved, which was teaching, but also to actually be teaching science. Excuse the dog.
Thanks, Kimberly. And Verinda, and I know that you're sort of just freshly really into the classrooms. What was it that really inspired you to want to do teaching?
Mine is slightly different for the rest of the stories because I went straight from my undergrad into the Master of Teaching program. But I did do a little bit of teaching. And I think what really made me decide was just being in a classroom. And you just have to be there, and there's not much to think there really. But just watching students kind of have like a light bulb moment when they understand what you're trying to say and you can see them actually improve. That made me realize that I was actually interested in working in education more directly, which is what led me to the Master of Teaching program.
Thanks, Verinda. And I'm going to ask you another question, because my thoughts are, as someone who's actually in the classroom now, which is wonderful to hear, what was it that maybe through studying with us at UTS, what was it that sort of helped that transition or made you feel classroom ready?
I would say the reason why I chose UTS over other universities was because I'd heard that the UTS program was more professional focused as opposed to theory focused. And not to say theory focus is a bad thing. I really enjoyed all the theories that I studied at UTS. But I think what's really great about it is so many of the courses are very classroom focused. So just in the sense that we learn how to react to certain things, how to prepare for certain things. So it's all leading up to you being a good classroom teacher, I think. Of course, there's a difference between actually being a good student and then going into your prac and realizing that it's a lot of effort and a lot of like application on your part of what you've studied. It's not good enough to just be a good student. But yeah, I think the support and everything that I got at UTS through the theories, the mentorship and everything, I think, yeah, I felt pretty prepared.
Wonderful. Thanks, Verinda. So Stella, how do you feel, because you haven't ventured into the classroom yet, what are you feeling that is supporting you in your studies at UTS?
Let's see. Well, the teachers are very good. That's a big part of it. They're very helpful with replying to emails when assignments are coming up and things like that. The library was still available to me during lockdown because I was in 5 kilometers and I could go up and pick up a book.
Excellent.
Contact free. That was pretty good.
Yeah, fantastic. Thanks, Stella. And Kimberly, what is there something that you've really enjoyed about studying at UTS?
Yeah, I think that similar to what Brenda says, the fact that the theory is connected to the practice right from the very beginning. So right from the very beginning, even in the theoretical subjects, you're often looking at the syllabus and you're starting to think about how you're going to apply the theories that you learn in the classroom. So a lot of those assessments are very authentic. They're sort of, you know, creating a learning activity or a lesson plan or a unit of study. And so I think that really practical hands-on practice is very useful. And I think that's what I've really enjoyed.
Yeah, thanks, Kimberly. And I'm going to go back to Verinda. So last question for each one of you. Verinda, one of the subjects that you really enjoyed at UTS, what was something that just really sparked you?
I think this would be related to my previous answer, was understanding and engaging adolescent learners. I enjoyed it. It's a lot of educational theory, and it's a lot of psychology as well, which is fascinating, just studying about adolescent psychology. But then also I had my prac around the same time, and just kind of seeing the application of what I was studying in the classroom. So quickly looking at students' attention spans and what made them actually motivated to study and things like that. So just that kind of, both of that together was really good. So yeah, I would say it would be the understanding and engaging adolescent learners.
Fantastic, thank you. And Stella, one of the subjects that you've really loved?
I really like all of them. Possibly my favorite would be my elective Sendak to Shakespeare, Shapes and, oh God, it's got a really complicated name, sorry.
Yeah, it's a great subject, isn't it?
Yeah, and learning futures as well. That was at the top of the list of the core subjects a few slides ago. I really enjoyed that one. That one's very focused on pedagogy and making sure all students' needs are met in the classroom.
Fantastic, thank you, Stella. And Kimberly, a subject that has inspired you?
Yeah, I agree with Stella in that I've enjoyed actually most of them. But I think that for me, the science teaching method subjects were the ones that I enjoyed the most, because they were the most practical and sort of the most different from me. Coming from an English teaching background, it was just a huge leap to be thinking about how to teach science well. And so I really enjoyed those.
Fantastic, thank you. Well, thank you to all three. Would anyone have anything that you feel you haven't had an opportunity to share that you'd like to, or would you like to just catch up at the end with questions and answers? You're all good? Okay, fantastic. Thanks very much, Sita.
Thanks, Annie. And thank you to the MTech students. It's just really good to hear the kind of relationships that you have with your tutors and that you're enjoying your course. So I'm going to move on to more bread and butter information about the admissions. So to be admitted to our MTech course, you'll need a UTS recognised bachelor degree or an equivalent qualification that includes at least one major discipline to the first, in regards to the first teaching area. And this is 6 subjects with no more than 2 at the first year and no more than 2 at the third year. You'll also need a non-academic entry requirement, which is a personal statement. And for international students or local students with an international qualification, you'll need to meet the English language proficiency requirements, which includes an IELTS score of 7.5 overall, a minimum of 8 in speaking and listening, and 7 in reading and writing. Next slide, thank you. So as mentioned in the previous slide, NESA's specifications for subject content knowledge requirements include 6 discipline subjects for a major and at least 4 for a minor. If you're missing a couple of the discipline subjects, that's fine. So it's possible to use 2 of the elective spaces to make up the shortfall. And those are the kind of questions that you'll tic-tac with me as a course coordinator. So I can help you map out your study plan according to the subjects that you've got in your undergraduate degree. Okay, next slide, thank you. So this is a personal statement. As I mentioned, all initial teacher education students need to complete this. The format is available on our website. It involves a 250-word response to 4 short answer questions based on why you're interested in teaching, how would you describe your leadership, your time management, and your problem-solving skills. So it's quite straightforward, but that's another thing that you have to put in with your admissions. Okay, next slide. Thanks, Ida.
And now we're able to move into the question and answer section of the evening.
So thank you. I can see that people have been busy uploading their questions. The first question is this course NESA accredited? And yes, definitely the course is fully NESA accredited, because I helped with the NESA application, so I would know. And so once you graduate, NESA would acknowledge your teaching degree, of course. So another question, maths and science teaching jobs in demand. They are particularly in demand at the moment. Anything in the area of STEM, in the area of secondary teaching, there will be a significant number of jobs coming up as reported in the news. So they are areas that, that we have students particularly interested in completing in this teaching specializations. And you can do a combination of those areas as well, as Cedar mentioned.
I was going to say, Jo, sorry. So I'll answer the next question if you like about the prac placements. I do apologise for not mentioning that when I was first talking about professional experience, but the university finds your places for you. You'll fill out some forms and things in your My Placement area, which you'll find out all about once you've enrolled and started. And within that system, we try to locate you in the best possible way. For your MTeach, you do have to teach at 2 different schools, but we still do the best we can to, to sort of accommodate whatever your needs are. But certainly under most circumstances, we find the placement for you and organise all the paperwork basically that has to happen.
Thanks, Annie. So there's another question that is connected to that one, and that's another question Molly's asked. When does prac occur?
Yeah, so under whatever normal means, if we put that in quotes, under a normal year, prac is normally in your 2nd and 4th semester. But obviously in years like 2020 and 21, that's been a little bit all over the place. But again, even if it is disrupted for various reasons, we're still there to support you 100% and to make sure that you still manage to get the professional experience that you're expected to get, and that you're supported in making sure that happens at appropriate times and in accordance with the NESA requirements. So yeah, generally in the spring semesters.
So Andy, do you want to answer, how long does the Master of Teaching take?
Sure. Generally, it's around about 2 years. Okay. So, well, it's not quite 2 years really, but it's 4 semesters. So, yeah, so generally it is over 18 months to 2 years. So 4 semesters in general. And I think there are some variations to that. And of course you can, take longer and go part-time. And after you've finished your first professional experience zone, I think this is a really important thing to understand. Once you've successfully completed your first professional experience, you are able to start teaching casually in a school. So whilst the coursework itself takes you a while and you're not finished and you're not graduated and fully accredited, you can, after that first 12 months, get your conditional accreditation and actually start teaching in a school. So it's really not that terribly long before you can do that.
Vrinda, if you're there, we have a question that is asking, what was the most challenging parts of a prac?
I would say the most challenging part of prac was the fact that you kind of have to be a sponge. You're going to be surrounded by a lot of teachers, and hopefully you'll be surrounded by a lot of people who are giving you feedback on your teaching, and you kind of always have to be in learning mode, you always have to be soaking up any advice that you can get and improving. And then even then there might be something that a teacher would say, you know, maybe you could do this differently. So initially it might feel a bit overwhelming, but I think that's one of the more rewarding parts of it, because it's like the more you're learning during the prac, the easier things are going to be once you actually start teaching. So yeah, having to be switched on and having to soak up all of that, you know, information, and also like working a fair bit as well, because it's honestly harder being at prac than actually teaching, because the teachers are going to need you to develop those skills and show them and kind of be as sure as possible that you can be a good teacher. So it's a lot of work, but yeah.
And what years did you take in the schools when you were on your prac?
When I was on prac, I did all the stages. So in my first prac, I did year 7, year 9, 10, and a little bit of 11. My second prac was slightly less. It was just 7, 10. Yeah, it was mostly year 7 and year 10.
So you got quite the range there on prac experiences. That's great.
Schools try to give you a larger range, I think, as far as I'm aware, both my schools did. So yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Verinda. I think that they're normally fairly supportive in trying to give you as much experience across the grades as possible. And one other really exciting thing that I think I'd like to mention too is that the vast majority of UTS MTeach students, before they have finished their second prac, have actually been offered temporary, casual, or some other kind of work, often at the school that they're at. So, you know, or many, you know, a huge number of them. So that's kind of a really exciting thing. So we often say to everyone, see your second prac in particular as sort of like a very extended job interview, because you're often asked to, the day after, can you come back and start doing some some casual work for us?
Yeah, so I can see that Andrew and Jeremy have mainly asked around having a minor teaching area in mathematics. And this is a really common question that we get from a lot of prospective applicants, because a lot of people might have done a lot of studies in science, for example, but then are interested in teaching maths as well. So just to put it plainly though, as noted in the presentation, you are able to undertake up to 2 electives within the discipline content area if you are missing those particular subjects. Unfortunately, if you're missing more than that, you will need to undertake some of it outside before commencing your studies into the MTeach. So, for example, if you currently have a first teaching area in science, but you want to teach maths as well, and your undergraduate doesn't have any mathematics within it, you'll need to undertake 2 mathematics subjects outside as non-award perhaps, or within another course, before you can enter in and then have that science mathematics combination. If you are planning to have maths as a first teaching area, which is a major, then you'll need to have completed at least 4 of those subjects prior to entering into the MTeach, because we will have the elective space for 2, but only a maximum of 2 for the MTeach. So I think that covers both of the questions there about mathematics.
So the HISI major, what junior subjects does this let me teach? It covers all junior subjects, the junior syllabus. And that's for HISI. And Molly, if you are interested further about the HISI options, please send us an email. I don't know if I can put my email up on the chat. Is that okay? And so before we leave, so you can contact us and let us know. Do most students have more than one teaching area? Most students, yes, they do have more than one teaching area, and that is to increase their employability. It is determined by your undergraduate pathway, and we can creatively map up your study plan to accommodate that. The electives are there for us to be able to possibly add teaching areas, and also to make up the shortfall of the content knowledge requirements that you might be missing when you enter. So yeah, please contact me with any of those questions.
Yeah, and Joe, there's one more that you might be able to address. It's what if I find a job while studying the MTeach? Will I be able to defer the degree for a certain amount of time so I can complete my grad job first?
Shirley, do you know how long students can defer their studies for?
So at UTS, you can have a maximum of up to 2 years worth of leave. But my main concern would be more the fact that even if you do find a grad job, you will only have an interim teaching number up until you have officially conferred your course, because you will need to provide that transcript to NESA in order to be a fully accredited teacher, because up until that point, you will only have an interim number. And that only, I think, that has an expiration of 12 months, I believe.
Yeah, it does, yes.
Yeah. But we do have students working closer to the end of their degree while studying at the same time.
Yeah, we also do have a lot of students who become those, I can never remember the acronym for this, but it's like this teaching and learning support officers at schools. So perhaps if you can work out a contract at a school there, you could also study part-time if your grad job will allow that as well.
So let me get this one up. In regards to the maths topic, so we can enroll in an undergraduate degree and withdraw from the application after we've completed the 2 units and enroll in a Masters of Teaching.
So Geordie, I would actually recommend that you contact Joe with your transcript so we can confirm that before you apply and make all those changes into your future studies, just because it's always good to double check. We can run a pre-assessment for you. And this is again open to anyone. If you would like to get your transcript pre-assessed, feel free to send through your transcripts. I'll put in our email, but you can also contact Joe and Joe will contact me anyway, and we can get that assessed for you. So I don't think I'll answer that particularly. We have had students who have admitted themselves into undergraduate courses before and then withdrawn once they've completed the right amount of subjects and then come to the Master of Teaching. But it'd be good to double check what your eligibility is before you make all those decisions.
Thank you, Shirley. And the final question is, how many hours roughly is the course per week? So I would say it just depends on whether you do the course part-time or full-time. Depending on your study load, the subjects would vary. So maybe Annie, for one of the subjects that you're taking in the MTeach, would you roughly estimate how much time students would need?
Well, and I guess it varies because, you know, from week to week, and certainly before professional experience, because all the subjects I teach are or most of the subjects I teach are related to professional experience. Particularly in second semester, we do a lot of what's called front loading, because we have you only a few weeks before you go out on prac, and then the semester sort of complete. So we do what's called front loading. So certainly in that second part of the year, you might be doing more hours per week than you would do in the first semester of the year. But on average, you'll do 2 hours of online or face-to-face sort of teaching and learning in workshops and sort of what we suppose used to call tutorials. And then you'll have, you know, an hour or a couple of, more probably 1 to 3 hours of preparation and consolidation time afterwards. So, you know, around about, I suppose, 3 to 6 hours per subject per week out without doing additional interest areas or perhaps writing an assignment or something like that. So it does ebb and flow a little bit.
Okay, so thank you. I'm going to slowly bring us to a close. Thank you to the team. Carried on so smoothly without me. We have a wonderful team at UTS with the MTeach. Any questions that you might have, it's my email address, the school's professional experience office email address is in the chat now. So please contact us. This is what we do. We're so excited to meet new students and help you on your journey towards teaching. As Kimberly was saying, and Rinda was saying, and Stella was saying, our heart is in teaching, and it's just a wonderful profession to be in. And I wish you have a wonderful evening, and we hope to see you next year. Thank you.